And I ain't boobing.
Beardos, what's good, man? What's good out there in the universe? It's your boy Nick Breezy, man. New episode, new day. Blessed to see a new day. I first want to give my thanks out to everybody, just to let y'all know, like I have been seeing comments, I have been getting good feedback, and good feedback overall. So I thank you guys for all of that. Thank you guys for the private messages that I've seen and read and responding back to. I'm no celebrity, so don't make it seem like I don't want to make it seem like I'm just like. But let's jump right into it. So a few days ago, a lot of you guys probably saw that I put something on IG about the tale of two men, and I kind of wanted to really touch on that a lot more than what I did, because like I said, that was the topic of this week's show. One thing I wanted to say before I jump into everything, that I promise to be more consistent with the episodes and whatnot. Like I said, life be life, and you know what I'm saying, your boy got to work to put bread on the table. You know what I'm saying? But so the tale of two men, Nick versus Breezy. Let's get into this shit, right? So like I said, I'm no angel, man. Like I'm no angel at all. But I have had this persona I adapted this persona of Breezy, like back in college, right? And it was like my neighbor at the time, like he was the one that gave me the nickname. Said I was cool to the other side of the pillow, or I was cool to the wind, or something like that. So just start calling me Breezy. So actually, Chris Brown owed me some money, because that's where it came from. Right? He got that shit from me, real talk. But so he gave me the name Breezy, right? And so like Breezy kind of started off, being like another version of me, where I was cooler, I was more relaxed, I was like, more upbeat, you know what I mean? I was more exciting, I was more fun, I had more charm and charisma, and like I was like I said, like we could do the whole, Clark Kent and Superman thing, or we can even go with Steve Urkel and Stephon Urkel. Like, it was kind of like that, low key. You know what I mean? And so throughout the years of me being on this earth, since then, I was 2006, 2006. So I've carried that, for a while. But the Breezy persona got me in a lot more trouble than say Nick did, right? So overall, those of you that know me like on a real personal level, like there can be two versions of me, and honestly, there might be like 3 or 4 versions of me. But at the end of the day, I have to decide like which version of me that you get. Do you get the Nick that's calm, chill, relaxed, even kill majority of the time, or still funny and smart and witty and all these other things, or do you get like the Breezy, who is like I said, like that guy in a sense, like, and don't get me wrong, like it's not like on some Playboy type shit or anything like that, but like he used to be a bad motherfucker, like for real, and those of you that have, those women at least that have experienced Breezy, like don't know the difference, because I never told them like, hey, well, I'm Breezy now, hey, I'm Nick now, like like it didn't happen that way. So they only saw me from what I presented to them throughout the course of the entire time. And I think, and that's like the biggest part of this whole thing. Like, people, or these women that I've dated, and that's where this whole topic comes from past people that I've talked to, that have told me basically that they don't think that I have changed, or they can't see the change in me because I've left that big of a impression in their brain from everything that we went through or the things that we went through that has led them to just not allow their brains or their eyes to like want to see anything. And again, that's not their fault. Like that's not their problem. Like they didn't do that to them. I did that to them, right? Going back to the whole accountability thing. But I acknowledge that. I acknowledge the fact that I'm the one that allowed them to have this vision of me. Now, granted, I never intended for any of those things to happen, but at the same time, they happen, right? Like, there's nothing I can do to change the past. Like, literally nothing. I don't have a DeLorean to go back in the past and change anything. So, here we are, X amount of years later, X amount of months later, whatever, and these individuals still see me as what I allowed them to see throughout that course of that time. Now, again, not everything that I've experienced with women have been like completely negative, right? Like they have definitely gotten a Nick version, you know, and at times they got the Breezy version throughout the course of that experience and whatnot. It's not being able to decipher or them being able to decipher but not caring that, oh, that was Nick and not Breezy, or that was Breezy, not Nick. And I had to learn how to fuse the two, you know, and was it hard? Absolutely. Like, it's hard to let something go when you feel like it gave you more energy, it gave you more life, it gave you more, you know, I don't know, it gave you more juice in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like Tropicana, Minute Maid. You know what I mean? Simply, like, that's what Breezy did for me. Like he gave me a boost, and it allowed, or it felt like Nick was not as cool as Breezy. But again, those women or people don't know the difference, right? Unless I tell them. You know what I mean? So going back to the whole reference of Superman and Clark Kent, right? Like Nick can be a version of Clark Kent, a very well put together version of Clark Kent. I'm not as timid, but like I have to play my part sometimes. Like I have to, I understand the view of things, and I'm calculated with things more and more. Whereas Breeze is kind of just like, man, stop the bullshit. Like let's go. Like just go. No matter what the answer is, just go and do it. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Put the charm on. Be charismatic, and show some flirtation, and allow yourself just to relax, and it's okay, right? And I had to really fuse those two people together. I had to allow Nick to talk to Breezy at the same time. Like, nah, bro, we shouldn't do that. Like, it's kind of like the whole Kermit the Frog meme. You know what I'm saying? Where Kermit looking in the mirror, and the mirror reflection looking back at him with the black hoodie on. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? But I like the Superman and Clark Kent reference a little bit better. So that's just how it had to be. Where I couldn't always just open up the shirt and just like dun 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 Superman. Like I couldn't do that all the time. And honestly, it got kind of tiresome to do it all the time, or when it was appropriate. So most of the time when it was appropriate was when me and my guys were going to Seattle every weekend, or there was or I had some liquor courage in me. And I see a chick or whatever, see a woman that I'm interested in, and boom, like there it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go say something to her. And Nick, this is not like that. Like Nick is more reserved, laid back, and chill, even kill, and like that's not what he does. So I had to be on my Bruce Banner, and I had to fuse Nick and Breezy, and that's how we come up with the Nick Breezy. You know, not as still reserved, but again, I'm more. I observe more, and whether it's liquid courage in me or not, I'm gonna go say something to a woman if I really want to say something to her. Because the worst thing they're gonna say is no, or I'm married, or I got a boyfriend, or whatever the case is. Like that's the worst. That's the worst a woman's gonna say. Like that's literally worse. So at the end of the day, like who cares if it's a no? Move on, go to the next. You know what I mean? So I had to also learn to not allow myself, and it's probably like the same thing with a lot of us, man, where we have to decide, what version do people get of us, So, for example, you go to an interview, or I go to an interview, and they're not going to get Breezy, of course, They're not going to get Breezy. They're going to get Nicholas, probably, very, I'm not astute, but, proper, talking regular, adding my R's to my words, the professional aspect of them. Then, once I get the job, I've gotten accustomed to people and things like that. Then you get a version of Nick, you know what I mean? Like I'm still I know if I'm working and still a business, I'm going to still be business oriented, but I'm still going to be myself. I'm still going to give you like me. And then you have, like I said, the Breezy, who is like, shit, y'all trying to drink, or hey, y'all, what y'all trying to do this weekend? Like, like the real, who cares more relaxed cat. So, I had to learn to give people, various slices of me at different times, and not everyone is worthy of you giving them those pieces of you, right? And I think ultimately it goes down to vulnerability, like, and worthiness. If that person is worthy of even knowing you on that level, is that person even allowed to even have a glimpse of these different aspects of you, these different aliases of you or monikers of you? Like, are they worthy of it, or do I feel safe enough to give you those versions of me, or a version of me? And like I found myself in the past, at least, allowing Breezy to like really fuck up a lot of shit for me. Like I really found that to be like really detrimental when I really sat back and really thought about a lot of things that's happened throughout the course of my dating years. I've been dating since I was 16, and I'm 37 now, so that's 21 years of consistent, almost consistent dating. And it's like, damn, bro, like even saying that right now, I'm like, damn, that's a long ass time. 21 years of dating. It's a long time. But Breezy really fucked up one time, and but this is where I can acknowledge the fact that this is probably like his biggest fuck up. So we're looking at like 2014, right? 2014, and I was married at the time. I was married, and I kind of already touched on a little bit about how Confessions was like the worst song. I couldn't listen to it for years, and how I had to tell my wife at the time, like, I got somebody pregnant. So what I didn't expound on was how Breezy fucked it up. Well, now we're talking about Breezy, right? So the wife at the time, she's like, hey, I want to meet the motherfucker. Like, I want to meet her. I want to see what this girl looks like. So I call her up, and I think my ex-wife, I think she takes the phone away from me, and she was like, hi, this is so and so. I just want to meet you. I don't want to, I don't want to fight or anything like that. I just want to meet you. I just want to see who you are. So shorty like, all right, cool. So naturally, I panic, right? Like, what the fuck is about to happen? Like, what is about to happen in this house, right? So she comes over. My wife, she's cooking in the kitchen. I'm sitting on the couch, kind of like this, TV in front. My son's mom, she's potential son's mom. I guess the BM, my kid's mom. She's sitting on the couch, belly out to here. She's like 7 months pregnant, so already like I'm kind of like forward thinking about like what the fuck is about to happen. So like this woman is cooking. She might kill us. Like I don't know what's about to happen. Like heart is beating out my fucking chest. Like I can feel it in my throat at this point. Pause. But so she's talking to her, right? She's just like, I didn't want to do nothing. I just want to meet you. Blah blah blah. And so then the question comes to me. Like I said, my ex-wife, she's over there cooking, and she's like, so Nick, what do you want to do? And so the BM, she's like, yeah, Nick, what do you want to do? So I'm sure y'all seen the movie Hangover 1, 2, and 3, but I'm not too familiar with it. I just know different scenes from each movie for the most part. So, and I think it's Hangover 2, where they're in Las Vegas, I think, or I don't remember. So excuse me. Where Buddy is at the craps table, at the dice table, and he got all of the arithmetic figures going off, in front of his face or whatever. I guess like counting cards, counting dice or whatever it was. And that's how it was for me at that moment. Because at that moment, Breezy was like, that woman is gonna leave. Regardless of what the fuck you say, that woman is gonna leave. So how do you play this to your advantage? And the best way I knew how to play it to my advantage at that time was to say these exact words. I said, well, I'm not leaving my wife unless she leaves me. I said that shit. So, and the reason why I thought it was smart to even say that was because outside of the fact of me knowing that this woman was going to leave, it gave me an opportunity to feel. At that time, I felt like I was playing chess and not checkers. And in reality, I was really playing checkers. I really, really was. So the whole idea of me saying that was, well, I know she's going to leave. So if she leaves, that's not on me. I didn't leave her. She left me. Yes, I fucked up. I did wrong. But she left me. She chose not to stay. So that's on you if you wanted to leave. I'm not making you leave. That's the process that's going through my mind at the time. So if she leaves, or when I know she leaves, that gives me opportunity to fuck on, to be all on top of the BM. And that's the way it happened. And so the ex-wife, she leaves me. She moves back here to Chicago. And maybe a week or two later, I got the BM back at the crib doing what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? And that was literally probably the most dumbest thing I probably ever did when it came to being Breezy. And cause I knew that this woman wasn't about to accept a baby from me. Like we don't have kids with each other. So why would she knowingly accept a baby that is not hers, that I cheated on her with? And because like most of us, right? Probably like most of us, or mainly dudes not going. A lot of dudes gonna be like, I'm gone. Like I ain't like that's between you and that boy. That's between you and that dude. I'm gone. But we as men, we expect the woman to be like, well, okay, I'll stay. Cool. Like as long as you do right by me, I'll stay. As long as we can get through it, I'll stay. And, you know, I don't blame her for leaving. I don't blame her for leaving. Like, I low-key applaud her for leaving. Because I needed that. I needed her to leave. Because if I didn't, I probably would have hurt her more. I probably would have hurt her a lot more than I did. And she saved herself. She saved herself. And I'm happy that she did. Breezy was detrimental. Very, very detrimental. And I can't be a man of the people, or I can't be a good father or friend if I can't acknowledge the fact that I know I had to destroy that version of me. That I had to bury him. The amount of shit that man did, and this is just a very, very small portion of the shit that he allowed us to get into. Like, that's low-key small. Like, there's tons of other stories that I have that I feel like Nick, allowed Breezy to get us into, and then now I have to collectively try to circumvent my way out of these situations when I'm the one, when me and this other persona are sharing the same brain, right? Like, it isn't like my brain shuts off and I'm in a whole different environment. Like, you know, I'm not. This isn't the movie Split for me, right? Right where like one personality cuts off and doesn't have any recollection of the other personality. You know what I'm saying? Or what they did. Like, this isn't that. And maybe I could be mistaken, but I feel like in the movie Split, I think they do know like what the other person's doing, or they try to hide it a little bit. But Breezy allowed us to get into a lot of shit that I could not climb myself out of until it was far too late. And I don't dislike him for that, because I was still in complete sound mind and body to be like, nah, don't do that. Nah, maybe we shouldn't be doing that. No, I'm not going to do that. I allowed myself to have no control over the situation, and allowed this other persona to like take over and be too charismatic, be too charming, be this and be that. And just kind of like allow Nick to kind of just be in the cut and just like, well, shit, it's working. You know what I mean? Like, and that wasn't smart. Like, that wasn't smart at all. And, you know, but the light bulb doesn't go off until very, very much later for men, right? So at this part, at that juncture, I was what, like 20? I was 28. I was 28. And so, you know, at that point, really, like, being married, I had no idea what it meant to be a husband. I had no idea what it meant to, you know, to be the head of the house and things like that. Like, I had no idea. I was like, we got married at 24. Got married at 24. And I can't speak for her completely, but in my head, I don't think she understood what it meant to be a wife at that time, even being that young. So, you know, fast forwarding 4 years into it, my mind is like, yeah, I'm married, but that's just my official girlfriend now. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds even dumb, but like to say like someone's your official girlfriend, your official boyfriend, and I didn't know, man. I didn't know, and it was heartbreaking. But again, everything happens for a reason. So, you know, here we are 10 years later, you know, post my oldest son being born, and, you know, things have gotten better. Things are good for me. You know, I've had a lot more life experience when it comes to women, and, you know, having more children, and just being able to understand myself and understand the shit that went on in the past was the past. I kind of low-key related to this. You want to eat at a restaurant that you never ate at before. And I think a lot of women could probably, you know, agree to this part. You want to eat at a restaurant that you never had before. So you look at the Google reviews and you look at the Yelp reviews, right? So you see all of these, you know, 5-star, 5-star, 4-star, 4-star, 4.5-star, 5-star, 5-star. You see all of these good reviews, And then you keep trickling down and you see, a 1 star, 2 star, 2.5 star, 3 star, 3.5 star. And 3 stars aren't bad, right? But you start seeing like more negative reviews as you keep going down the timeline of that reviews, of those reviews. And you kind of get turned off by like, I guess like this, that, and the third. But I think what we don't think about when we see these reviews is like, yeah, the reviews, the better reviews are most recent, within like the last year or so. And the more negative reviews are probably like 3-4 years ago. You know what I mean? And we don't take into account like that was so many years ago that they should have, and now they have better service now. Now they have better food. Now they have better, a better atmosphere. All of these better things, but we still look into, but we still account for the negative reviews though. Like, well, 3 years ago this person said that they had, the wait time was long. So now we take that into consideration, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna try this food, I'm gonna see how long the wait time is. And I think that's the whole thing when it comes to relationships, or I'll say me specifically, right? So like I could be dating a brand new woman right now. I could be with a woman or whatever, and she knows me, like for Nick Breezy, right? Like she knows me for me. But if she were to be introduced to an ex of mine, she might tell her like, yeah, like Nick did this, and the third to me, he blah 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 blah. And so now the new chick is like, nah, that can't be him. Like that's not the person I know. And so now she may be like, okay, well now I'm more cognizant of these flaws that you talked about. So now I'm going to be more aware, and I'm going to pay closer attention to these things, so that bullshit isn't done to me, right? So that those same negative reviews aren't being brought into this new time stamp that I have with him. But it's okay though, right? Like it's okay to have those negative reviews, because that helps you become a better person. That helps you become a better spouse, a better boyfriend, a better girlfriend, a better dad, a better brother, better sister, better friend. Like those negative reviews help you become better. And I think for the most part that I have heard those negative reviews, I have taken those negative reviews under great consideration, and have allowed myself to kind of just grow from those negative reviews and understand like I am not that same person from 3-4 years ago. I am not that same person from 2 years ago. That I have significantly changed my attitude, my thought process, everything about me has changed. But I'm not going to force someone to see the change. They have to see it for themselves if they choose to see it. And that's the same way it is with our lives in general, right? So be aware, man, of the negative shit, the negative influences that you may leave with people, or the negative impressions you may leave with people, bro. Because this it's hard to get back on square footing with people that you left a bad impression with. So like over the weekend, I'll kind of leave you guys with this. Over the weekend, like I said, at least over the course of the last few weeks and this past weekend, I had a conversation, and the conversation was, you love bitches too much. And excuse me, I'm not degrading women, but I'm regurgitating what the word that was said to me. You love bitches too much, and bitches love you. Why would I want to be? I can't be with you right now and be arguing with a bitch about you and what you're doing. I can't do it. I can't do it. Then another conversation was, you know, you ghosted me, and I don't know if, you know, you not being able to communicate with me and tell me what was going on with you, if that's just a character flaw of yours, or is that just like who you are as a person? And so weeks ago, it prompted me to just ask, you know, like my closest friends, you know, if they were interviewed, you know, by someone about me, what would they say? And they had like all these great things to say, right? And I'm not good at taking compliments, but they had all these great things to say, and it made me feel good. Like it did. It just allowed me to even understand even more now, like right now, that those words that they said to me is because of what I have allowed them to know, see, you know, about me. And I never gave them a reason to give me a negative review per se, right? I never gave them a reason to give me a negative review. So only thing they know is positivity. Like, don't get me wrong, like my friends know I'm flawed. Like I'm flawed as fuck. You know, I have friends that tell me you take up for dirtbag ass friends. You take up for assholes, or you know, you try to see, you know, or you. I had one person tell me that, yeah, you are an asshole to me. Like, you are a complete asshole, but I don't think that you're a bad guy. But I do admire that you are growing and continue to grow. And honestly, Beardos, that's what this whole thing is about, man. The growth and the newer development of being a new person, a better person each and every day. The stuff that I know right now should be more than I know tomorrow, right? I should know more tomorrow than I knew today. And it's a hard journey. It's a hard journey to be better, but also it's a good journey. I can say that. We as people, we have to decipher and decide when we allow people to have different slices of us, like a cake. Sometimes that piece of you might be just enough for that person, or it might be too much for that person. And it might be just the right amount of slice of cake for that person. And, you know, if they enjoy it, cool. They might want another slice. They might want another slice after that. You know what I mean? But then you have some people that you meet that just don't deserve a slice of cake. Like, they just don't fucking deserve a slice of cake of you at all. So fuck them. Fuck them. Because Nick or Breezy don't give a damn. Don't care. You don't deserve that of me. And the same thing goes for you guys. Individuals don't deserve those pieces of you. So you give motherfuckers what they deserve. You give them the Nick version of you. You give them, or whatever your name is, right? You give them that version of you. You give them the Breezy version of you. And I think the last important thing is, it's not just even about like two different sides of us. Like, I think there are different sides of us too. I think there's more than one, more than two sides of us. So I can say right now, I have three, or maybe even four. You have the Nicholas, you know, you have the Nick, you have the Breezy, and then I have the one who, you know, I sleep with at nighttime.
Y'all know a nigga named Booby.
Solo Dolo, the man I see in the mirror every day. You know, the one I have to be truly vulnerable with, true and more honest with myself about things, and allow myself to give myself grace and to be okay and to sit in those moments. And it's the same thing we have to do. Y'all have to do. You have to sit in yourself. Sit in yourself and be okay with decisions and the actions that you may have done or didn't do. And you may be living some form of regret, but you have to live with that shit. gotta live with it. And you have to be okay and understand, like, it's okay to be Breezy. It's okay to be Nick. It's okay to be Nicholas. And, you know, whatever your name is. It's okay to be those people. But are they going to be, how detrimental or helpful are they? And do you need to bury one? Do you need to fuse two? Or do you just need to reinvent yourself as a whole? But whatever decision you make, just know, man, it's okay. Make that decision with the most genuine decision ever. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with it, man. You got to live with that decision. So, until next time, y'all, this is Nick Breezy, your greatest host on the greatest show, starting off greatest show. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the messages. And I just ask that you just keep sharing the message, man. We have to continue to be better people. This whole movement for me isn't about any type of monetary value. It's not about, you know, blowing up or anything like that. You know, it's just me wanting to just help people, man. And maybe my stories, maybe my life experiences will help, you know, generate you helping the next young person or your brother or your sister or something like that. Like maybe it just helps you. Maybe it just does. So if you never need anything, hit me in a DM, call me, text me, whatever it is, I'm here for y'all. But until then, peace out, y'all.